What is going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop. In this episode, we'll be dissecting the Collingwood-Brisbane game. So just before we do get into dissecting it, happy Easter if you celebrate. If not, enjoy the long weekend, eat lots of chocolate, and just have a good time with family and friends now that we can see them, because we're finally out of lockdown and we can spend Easter together, or spend a long weekend together. But anyway, look into this review. So on Easter Thursday, Collingwood took on Brisbane up at the fortress that is the Gabba, and it was one of those games where, look, in my preview, if you watched it, I said that we were going to lose, but I said that it was going to be a game where we would see where we stack up against the best teams, and Brisbane are one of the best teams this season at the moment now because of that win there. 4 wins, 1 loss. So they are a really, really good team, and they showed it. They did show it. They had spurts of greatness in that game, and so did we in patches. But you know, a couple of things let us down, and we'll talk about those a little bit later. But look, Brisbane now have won 29 of 30 games up at the Gabba, so you can see that it was always going to be hard to go up there and win. But to only lose by 7 points is really good. And people will tell you, oh, Brisbane, you know, junk time goals, Brisbane just let you get those goals in the end. They need percentage. Like, it's already the start of the year, but you can't just say, okay, Brisbane just sat back, and I wouldn't say this Brisbane team as anything at the moment, blah, 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 blah. They want to finish top 2, and it's got to come down to percentage. Last year, a couple of teams in the top 4, I'm pretty sure, came down to percentage of when they were playing. They won a home final at the Gabba, so don't let people convince you otherwise that it's not a, they just let us win. Oh, sorry, they just let us come back in that game. They kicked 6 goals in a row to start that second quarter. There's no, they would have loved a 30-plus point victory. So I'm taking this 7-point loss and running to their heels with it. Now, Craig McRae after the game came out and said that honourable losses are good, but if you have an honourable loss 22 times in a row, you finish bottom of the ladder. And that's kind of the message that I want to get across today, where we've had 3 losses in a row. We're currently sitting 8th, but look, take out the West Coast game because that was a loss that shouldn't have happened. The Geelong game was a loss where we can learn from, and this Brisbane game is a loss where we can see the benchmark that we sit against these good teams. And what cost us again? Inaccuracy, inefficiency going forward. I think we had, just looking at it now, 62 inside 50s to Brisbane's 54, and we only kicked 14 goals 7. Now, accuracy-wise, 14 goals 7, amazing. Better than last week's effort of like, what, 8 goals 14 or something ridiculous like that. 14 goals 7 is great, but that's 33.9%, or may as well just round it up to 34% efficiency going forward. That's ridiculous. Our average is about 45%, close to 50, or not even close to 50, sorry, 45%. And last year it was closer to 50%. 34% going forward is ridiculous. You can't have that. You can't have that happen. And did we lose it at the selection table as well? Probably. We had 5 players over 200 centimetres. We had very tall timber in our forward line with Cameron, Cox, and Kruger. Darcy Moore found himself in that last quarter there. He kicked 2 goals. We'll talk about a little bit about that later. But no Jamie Elliott, no Jack Ginnivan, no Bo McCreary. So no like for like in the small forward category. Should we have debuted a player like Murley, or maybe even a Harrison to go in and under there, but probably like a Murley type, or, you know, do we find someone that's a little bit smaller to go in there? Do we reinvent someone as a forward when we don't have these forwards? So I think going tall worked in parts, or can work in parts, because last week against West Coast, we got eaten up by intercept defenders because we had no tall timbers down there besides Cameron. So you have Cox or Kruger last week, and you probably win that game against West Coast, and a little bit of other things. But on a wet Brisbane day, because it was raining the night before, a bit slippery, the ball's always going to come to ground. We didn't have any guys that could shark that ball and kick those sort of goals. So because our efficiency inside 50 is pretty much non-existent, if those big forwards don't get marks, we don't get goals out of it. And I know, again, 14 goals 7, great. But that's pretty much, the goalie kicked 4 of those goals, so he kicked 12, 16. He kicked about a quarter of our goals. I think he kicked 4 goals 2 or something like that. And Kruger kicked 2 goals 2. So these players are doing enough, but just that selection of not going with a small crummer and going super, super, super tall may have killed it a little bit. Again, just like these last couple of weeks, our tackling and our pressure has been brilliant. 62 tackles to 56, 13 tackles inside 50 to 7. Those tackles inside 50 give you the best opportunity to either get a free kick for, holding the ball, dropping the ball, whatever they want to interpret it as, or making a Brisbane ball a 50-50 chance of scoring a goal when it goes into a ball up position. So I love that pressure. But our defenders, so we saw Jordan Rufford come back in, maybe a little bit overdone. I know I was calling for him against West Coast last week, but he was just getting bodied by Danaher and the likes, just getting easily pushed out. And that's fine. AFL level, he only played 2 quarters of the VFL, so he was taking a little bit of time to get up to that sort of match fitness and, with surgery on the shoulder and stuff like that. But again, our defense it was great last year, and it's good now because we've sacrificed a little bit to go forward and score, which is good. I'm all for that. I just think that we don't play, and you'll see it, we play very far off our man. Howe does it a lot, Moore does it a lot. Roughhead wasn't doing it, but he was getting caught out anyway. Imagine probably had one of his better games for Collingwood, besides that spoil out of bounds. It was always going to be deliberate, and that is so frustrating because it's hard to back him up when he does something like that, a bit of a brain fade like that. But saved a goal on the line, did a couple of other nice things, so he had a really good game besides that. But there was all these little things that you could say, oh, we didn't win because of this, we didn't win because of that. It was a team effort that we lost. But our defense just has to be a little bit tighter, and I can see what they're doing and I love it. They're doing kind of like what Richmond do, but I'll preface the off-season now by saying we need to sign a fullback. We need to sign. Mark Keane leaving really killed us. Mark Keane leaving after list lodgement was, 1, really selfish, and 2, just really killed us because I don't think we even get a mid-season draft pick because he's still on, because of the list lodgement, and he's still on there. And we don't get a pick in the draft beforehand. Yes, we got Charlie Dean, but he's not coming back till rounds, I think 10 to 12. And then he's not coming back to training till 10 till 12, I'm pretty sure, so, or thereabouts. Then he has to get match fitness up, play a few games in the VFL. We probably won't see him till the end of the year. Jordan Roughhead isn't getting any younger. Jack Madgen is not a one-on-one defender. Jeremy Howe's not getting any younger. He's not a one-on-one defender. Darcy Moore, as much as I love him, you don't want him as a one-on-one defender because you want him as that intercept mark. You want him to be running through that half-back line. We need to recruit a full-back, and yes, we need to recruit a full forward, but a full-back, we need one. We really, really desperately need one. So I touched on a little bit about where we went wrong and where we can improve, but what did I like about this team? Nathan Kruger, it just looks like how can a player that hasn't played a lot of games and only played 2 games for Collingwood already look like a saviour to our forward line? Yes, he missed 2 very, very easy goals, and if he got that one in the third quarter, I think it was the start of the third quarter, we would have had some sort of momentum on our side, and he missed it. Okay, that absolutely sucks and was devastating, but 2 goals, 2. The way he attacks the ball, he gives 110%. He reminds me of Bo McCreary he wants to be in every contest. He wants to smash every contest. He is literally playing for those black and white stripes, and he's just giving it his all. And I just love that. And that's exactly what you want to see from every single player. And like I said, already a saviour. He's kicked 4 or 5 goals in his Collingwood career. And I think you can kind of build a forward line around him. We do need someone else to help him out a little bit. Because I don't know if you would play him solely as full forward. You can see that he was working in a 3 tall forward line against the Brisbane Lions. Mychek comes in. Do you need another sort of full forward? I don't know. But what I'm saying is that I love the way Crew goes about it, and we really have found a diamond in the rough, and it's so good to just see him play. And just his excitement when he kicks a goal, and I just love everything about him. Another guy I really liked, Reef McGuinness. Again, missed a couple of easy ones. Finished with 2 goals, 2 as well. But he was just leading like a man possessed. And I know I think he says he wants to play a bit more in the midfield. But if you can reinvent this guy at, what is he? 196 centimetres as a leading forward. That's amazing. Like, he's not going to be that big full forward type. He doesn't have those Maybe in a couple of pre-seasons, he gets a little bit bigger, but I don't think he's going to be that huge Jeremy Cameron forward type. But I'm happy to be proven wrong because he's around the Jeremy Cameron, Jack Riewoldt height. So maybe Reece McGuinness and Nathan Kruger as our two big leading forwards is just something that we didn't think of, and it could work because I love the way he was just his leading patterns, finding himself in space all the time, just really, really good. Finally, I just want to talk about Jordan De Goey. 4 goals. Jordan De Goey, the footballer, amazing, right? If he's kicking 4 goals and what is it, 20 disposals, 2 tackles, 4 clearances, 600 metres gained, you give him what he wants. You absolutely give him what he wants. Well, actually, no. Based on history, you give him a little bit less than what he wants. But if he didn't get suspended last week, he would be in Brownlow form because he is one of probably top 5 players in top 5 players in the league at the moment. Smashing 4 goals. He kept us in that game. 3 goals in that final term kept us really, really in that game. And if he has a good season, look, all we need is one good game for everything to click, and this season can turn around on its head. And Jordan De Goey is going to be a big proponent in that. A couple of guys that I think really do need to prove themselves a little bit more. Brody Grundy went at 42% disposal efficiency. Darcy Fort just kind of... Look, Grundy run the tap-outs, but, he didn't really do a lot else. He got 6 inside 50s, which was nice. 14 disposals, no marks, no tackles, 7 clearances. So he's getting those clearances, which is good, which is just grab it out of the ruck sort of thing and bomb it long. But for a big man, no marks, and he takes a couple of good clunks and he can tackle really well. So just a bit of a down game. Probably his worst game in a couple of years. Hopefully he bounces back against Essendon. Another guy on my radar is Taylor Adams. 40-something% disposal efficiency. And I love him, right? He's one of my favourite players. The Bull. He gets in, gets under, gets those 4 clearances, 8 tackles, which is awesome. You want to see one of your in and under hard players get those tackles. 4 marks, 22 disposals. But when 22 of those disposals, well, less than 22. So when 14 of those 22 disposals are ineffective or going to an opposition, it's just a little bit, crazy for one of your elite ball winners or A-grade players. There was a thing at the end of the quarter, and if you jump on my Twitter, you can see it at the end of the last quarter, where he had the ball down the middle. He had someone right there in the middle of the ground. Missed. He just didn't see him. Went to a one-on-one contest, and we nearly lost that ball. Steele was magical, and he won it. But it's just those little things, those little bit of brain phase like that, where Adams just has to improve. But he's coming back from COVID and his first game back, so he can only get better. Elephant in the room, Mason Cox. I have defended Mason Cox for so long. I thought he was going to just absolutely smash 40, 50 goals. Maybe not 50, but 40 odd goals this year. Missed a really easy one that he usually gets, so his confidence is down. Are those glasses really, genuine question, are those glasses really helping? Because he missed a chest mark. Obviously, only he can really know. But, look, and he is... If the ball isn't coming to him perfectly, and the inside 50s haven't been going to anyone perfectly, pretty much, he's not going to mark a lot of the balls, right? We get that. But can he do a little bit better? He just has to start bringing the ball to ground. Just monstering guys, not putting knees in backs, but absolutely just using his big frame around. And just the kicks inside 50 to him have to be pinpoint to advantage for him. He's a big guy. He should be clunking these marks. Just have to be to advantage, not below his fucking chest, not too high for him, even though he's, Godzilla, not too high for him. I think they're going to persist with him. I do think that this might be his last year, but you didn't hear that from me. But anyway, guys, this has been my long review of the Brisbane Collingwood game. Just giving you some of my thoughts. As always, we'd love to know your thoughts down below. Anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers, I'll swoop you later. But until next time, like, comment, subscribe. But, as always, like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until... Fuck me, what do I say?